let's go. We spit knowledge that we put to the test. Come get it if you're young and hungry for success.
What's up, guys? We're here with Brock. Brock is the owner of Burn, but I'm going to let him do his introduction because I don't know about you guys. When somebody introduces me, I hate it. I get like anxious when I don't know what they're going to say.
Right.
So Brock, tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Brock Murphy. I am a junior at Auburn University. I'm from Daphne, Alabama. I am the owner of Burn. I've been in this now, I guess. It's been roughly now 12 months, but our first day opening was February, so 2 months before COVID-19. So it's really been 8 months in business and probably about 12 months of kind of getting everything ready and then kind of into the year. A little bit about myself. I'm the oldest of five. So I have three younger brothers and then one sister. I went to Bayside Academy, and I am studying supply chain management. So that's kind of a little bit about me.
Nice. What do you, so you said you're in school for supply chain management?
Yeah, I'm in supply chain management. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with that route. I love the aspect of just everything business. So I thought that would be a cool major, just to kind of learn the logistics, kind of point A to point B of how a product gets to the customer and all in between. So that's kind of why I chose that, along with my mom, wanted me to do that one.
So as your mom said, hey, this is what you're doing.
Yeah, so she's in HR, and she works for Ascension's Health. And so she kind of does analysis of all the best jobs and stuff. And she said supply chain is the new thing coming up. And so she kind of directed me in that direction. And so it's been great. I've loved it. And I've, made a lot of connections from that and within the supply chain industry. So, I wouldn't change it. So I'm kind of glad I went down that route.
She's trying to get you prepared so when she's old, she knows that at least one of them are going to be able to take care of her.
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's crazy though, man. Like you said, we were talking to the owner of Burn. I'm expecting somebody like 40 years old.
Yeah, dude, that's
like,
what
that's
Taylor
crazy,
and them are the
man.
one that told me about him. Like,
yeah.
You're like 19 or 20?
I'm just turned 12. I say I just turned. I opened it.
That would be impressive.
Yeah. No, I opened it when I was 19, and I turned 20 in June. So, yeah, 20 years old.
That's crazy, man.
Dang, man. Tell us about that journey of how you came into that. Because most 19, 20-year-olds, they're not looking to open up a business or, like, especially something at this scale.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll start from the beginning. In high school, I grew up always wanting to be an FBI agent.
Same. That's crazy.
I fell in love with Hawaii Five-0 and NCIS and all those shows. And I actually got the opportunity to go and work in, not the field, but I got to go and kind of tour the Mobile office and learn more about it. And it was cool, and I really enjoyed it. And then kind of like a few months later, it was kind of weird. I was like, that's what I want to do. I'm set on that. I was going to go do criminal justice, in college. I was set on that. And my dad was like, hey, you got to have a job. You need to make some money. And his first thing was like lawn care. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I enjoy it. I can work for myself, make better money than, working hourly, somewhere else. So me and him together we bought some nice equipment, and we kind of just started. And I kind of did some stuff on the side. He had some real estate properties that I was cutting for him. So they were commercial properties. So we had a commercial lawnmower, commercial everything, nice trailer, and it was going good. And then we struck up a deal with this ballpark and this sports association to actually cut like 8 baseball fields. And it was like a monthly, year contract. So that was kind of the first time I saw kind of real money working for myself, making more than $100 an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is, not necessarily that I want to do lawn care for the rest of my life, because I'm more passionate with engaging with people, and, lawn care can be kind of you and the lawnmower. But that's kind of where I first saw like the whole entrepreneur thing of like working for yourself, making your own money and not really having to listen to anybody. And not that that's bad, but it just,
you got a taste of the freedom.
Exactly. I got a little bit of kind of worked on my own schedule. And so that kind of was laying the foundation of, I had no idea then what was going to happen, but that was kind of laying the foundation for, Burn. And so I get to college freshman year, and I just changed my, entire goals down in the future to, wanting to be an entrepreneur, wanting to own my own business. And I go into the summer, and I go work for this company called Rent Gear here, which is the beach chair company.
Yeah.
And just I sat there and just amazed. And now, like, after owning a business, you walk into every business and you just analyze everything. You can tell if they're making money, if they have too many employees, what their expenses are. So, like, I started working on Burn that summer of after my freshman year, and literally an ad popped on my phone. I saw it. I called one of my good friends who has done well in the business world, and I've known him for like 10 years. He's like my second dad, and he, was like, "All right, I'll give you the opportunity," and he gave me the percentage of the company, and my job was to run it. So that was kind of the start of it, and took about 6 months from June to probably January before we had everything signed, negotiated, built out, and ready to open in February. But that was kind of, I look back now and I say that those years of cutting the grass every weekend, even though it was hard and I was making good money, but I had to sacrifice a lot, was building the foundation of getting ready and what was coming, which was Burn. And so I think that's kind of why I've been able to succeed better, is just having that experience and kind of laying that foundation early on. So I got into that, young, and that's kind of just built up, the kind of desire to be an entrepreneur. I love leadership positions. I like connecting kind of the big picture behind things and kind of seeing where things need to go, and, making adjustments and kind of, just everything to do with making sure the business is successful, excuse me.
Right.
So that's kind of the story start of how that happened.
So you already had somebody who owned a percentage of Burn, right? Or did he just supplied you the capital to invest in it?
Yeah. So the way Burn was set up is we had a few challenges trying to get it open, just with the way that the company that helps us open it works with. So John is my business partner, but he owns a third. We actually had to bring in another lady named Susan, who's a local to Auburn, and she owns a third, and then I owned a third. And we each brought a little bit different to the table. So mine was I was the operator role. Susan had some stuff that dealt with the company that we kind of opened it through, and then John was he put the money up, made sure we had the capital to get started.
Right.
So that we could succeed.
So what's your biggest role in this, as a third? I know you talked about how you're there more of a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
So what's your biggest role that you have to do in the company?
So I have a manager who helps me tremendously, kind of do some more of the day-to-day stuff. But I've learned over the years, it's kind of hard. You get running a business and you kind of want it your way, because you think it's the best way. And sometimes that's the case. Sometimes it's not. I've learned where sometimes I'm right and sometimes I've been wrong. But yeah, I do the payroll with my grandfather. He helps me out. I'm in charge of, I do ordering and make sure that all the products like the cups, etc., are there. I pay all the bills. I'll fill in. I'm not working there every day on a daily basis, but I fill in shifts every week when someone needs to be filled.
Right.
We started delivering to the hospital right when COVID started, which I've kind of said they build a lot of our business. And so we've delivered to them every day for the past 6 months, to the hospital every day. And we do anywhere from 15 to 50 drinks to, one day we did 85 drinks to the hospital. So, that's kind of what I do. And so I'm on a daily basis. I'll just make sure everything's ready to order. Make sure, the manager does the scheduling and I help her out based off, if we're slow one day, we can kind of cut back. And if we're, more busy, and, I'm in charge of trying to get benefits nights. And, we just did something with 320 West Mag. They actually opened up a tab. So just different things like that, trying to get our name out there and connecting.
So more big picture stuff for you is what you're focused on.
Big picture stuff on a very small scale, I guess, of a local business.
Hey, that's what it takes to really get it off the ground. Because I know there's a couple of different ways that you could invest in. So you got your angel investor, basically like John, right?
Yep.
He's kind of like your angel investor, and then you went and actually like put it to use. Like cause a lot of people like they would just take it and they would have somebody else like your manager run it instead of actually doing anything with it. They would just say, you know what, they got it. I just want to collect a check.
Yeah, and so I like sharing this because over the years, I mean not over the years, but over this past year, excuse me, I've kind of backed off now as far as working every day. I think it was a blessing that COVID happened, and I say that
I think you were probably one of the only people who will ever
I
say that.
I say that not in the way that it's not that it happened, but I say that because it gave me the opportunity to actually work in the business every single day. I mean, I was working 60 plus hours. So let me correct myself. I say that in a way that it allowed me to see the business a little bit differently.
So just for an update, he does not consider COVID a true blessing. Okay,
the way it impacted my business. So we had to actually a lot of the girls left, and they went home during COVID because school ended. So really, it was me and my manager left to work, and so we were working every single day.
Yeah.
And it just, like I said, it humbled me a lot. It made me, we were having lines out the door every single day. Doing curbside and working 80 hours a day. I mean, I literally go home at 5. I get off at 6 or whatever it was, and I literally pass out by 7. I get up and do it every single day, and while I was doing school. And so, that's just part of what happened. And so, but it really allowed me and opened up and kind of see, what it looks like on the ground level and what it looks like to be successful.
Yeah.
And so now it's about holding that high standard and, holding that standard for my employees now,
right.
Moving forward.
Yeah,
but to correct myself, I don't think COVID was a blessing. Just on the inside of my business, it was cool to get to experience that.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Like the fact that you're working all those hours and have to manage school too, and like that goes to show, like
look in the camera. Sorry guys, we have a new setup, so Omari is still looking down.
Oh yeah, my bad, y'all. Anyways, that goes to show that like there's like no room for excuses really, because despite you having to go through school, you still like manage to work all these hours throughout the week, and that's everybody ain't built for it, man. So kudos.
I think it's different than just having a job during like with school.
Exactly.
Like, cause it's different because you're not having to nobody's relying on you truly when you're just going to a job.
Right.
But if you're actually
the head honcho,
like you're just like, you know what? I don't feel like I'm gonna clock out. I'm gonna like call out of work today. Well, dude, you're the boss.
Right.
Like you can't just like hang up because you had a bad test. Like
exactly.
Because like were you working like whenever you were in school? Were you actually like working like your videography and photography business?
No, I was still.
So you wait until after?
Yeah, because I was full time playing football.
Okay.
So yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that it's very interesting because it's what I've learned over the past year or two is every week I walk in that door, and it's not that I expect something bad to happen, but when something does bad happen, like I'm not surprised by it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is after learning that, it's just easier to solve the problem. I hear that saying all the time, like no problems, only solutions. It's actually really true when you sit there and you train your employees when there's an issue to let them figure it out. If or if I'm there to just figure it out instead of getting all worked up and because that affects the entire team, that affects the customers that walk in. If the POS system's down, or if the Wi-Fi is not working, or the power's out, or the ice machine, there's so many different things that's happened over and it's just I've realized instead of just getting all worked up about it or letting things affect you, just kind of figuring out the solution to the problem and just moving forward has been kind of the key to, I think, being successful in anything.
You're just kind of prepared for the worst and praying for the best.
Exactly, type thing. And that's kind of with school too. You got to learn to value your time, and it's been fun. People they're just like, oh, it's probably so hard, and it's hard at some point in times, but like you just get used to it, and you just when you enjoy what you do, it's just it's not. You don't look at it like a job. You just kind of like, I go back, I like look at this is the foundation of what's to come and kind of what I'm working towards. And so, just being happy that I'm in the position I am at this young of an age is just kind of the approach that I try to take. Now that doesn't happen every single day, but that's kind of how I try to look at
Well, do you
kind
have
of what
your employees back now that school's actually starting to get in session, or is it still you just working, just you and your manager? Like,
No, yeah. So we have about probably 12 to 15 employees that work for us, and it depends. We've some weeks we'll have our high, and then we'll have a little bit slower weeks, and I guess that's just I realized I used to stress out every day that we didn't hit the number I wanted to, and at the end of the day, you kind of look at the big picture, and as long as you're moving upwards, not downwards, it's really okay, and
right.
it might be small every single day, or it might be a little bit less one day and more the next day, but kind of as long as you're moving, forward, that, it's okay. So yeah, we have about 12 employees that work, kind of part-time and every week. And I'm hoping that number will grow as if it, we get a little bit more busier in the springtime,
Right.
in the coming year.
So let's talk about actual like burn itself, like because I've like there's like I said, like there's different other ones like it, right? Because but you're all kind of like working together, right? Like it's kind of
Yeah,
all connected in a sense.
that's correct. So it's through a company called Herbalife, which is a multi-level marketing company, and they basically allow you to open up a store, and you act as a distributor. You order products from them, and then they sell, they sell your drinks. Or that you create the product into the drink that you sell retail. Yeah, it's been interesting because it's a business model that's great for anybody really.
I feel like
You
it's
don't.
been starting to boom a lot recently.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's hard. It's just you know it's a lot of competition, uh, but you are on the same team, and but that still doesn't mean. I mean, your end goal is to try to sell as many teas or shakes or whatever it is as retail. But you know, it's kind of one of those things. It is what it is. You can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
They can open up 80 here. They could open up two. I mean, you could open up a million across. There's no endless thing. It's all all you can focus on is trying to be the best one.
Right.
Um, so and I've kind of taken the approach. I listened to Jeff Bezos the other day talk about competitors, and he said the competitor to be feared is like the one that doesn't focus on what you're doing, and the one that sticks to themselves instead of trying to chase you. And he said that's the competitor that we fear is the ones that don't care about what we're doing and still trying to beat us out. So I say that to say that regardless of how many there are and how many are to come, as long as we focus on our individual customer experience, I think that we'll continue to do well. So.
Right. Keeping straightforward, not worrying about what everybody else is doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's in the teas that make them so much different than like if I go to Smoothie King or something similar to that?
Yeah. So I'll start by comparing. I'll compare kind of based off Smoothie King, and I don't want to talk about everything that because everybody has their different opinions. But Smoothie King is more high calorie protein shakes, whereas Burn we sell our max. The biggest one we have that are the most calories is a post workout shake that has whey protein, and it's like 330 calories. And normally our most shakes that we sell are our naked and classic shakes that are range from 200 250, and they act as a meal replacement that will fill you up. So it's kind of a separate industry. I mean, I don't even really consider Smoothie King a competition, and I don't think they consider us a competition just
Right.
because two separate products. As far as our loaded teas, there's a few different ingredients that go into it, but we it's a product called a lift off, and then there's some other herbal teas that we put into it, and it's basically kind of in a nutshell healthy caffeine. It gives you that energy you need. It's got the vitamins in it, but it doesn't give you that crash of like a sugar Red Bull.
Yeah.
It was growing in high school doing lawn care, I literally probably drink a Red Bull every single day. I'd go cut grass.
Dude,
And
I'm
so,
all about Red Bull. I debated on getting one for like my drink today, but I was like,
yeah,
nope, don't undo it.
yeah. So that's the biggest thing that like we, is kind of what's promoted is like our teas don't have any sugar in them. We sweeten all our teas with stevia. So, that's big for everybody because, everybody watches sugar now. And so having a drink that has that much caffeine in it with no sugar, really, it gives us that competitive edge versus, like a cup of coffee or whatever. So I've seen, a lot of people, stop drinking coffee and just drink our teas. So that's kind of in a nutshell what it is.
Have
But
you
it's
stopped drinking coffee, or are you still?
so I never drink coffee that much. I'll drink it every now and then. My big thing was like sodas. I would just chug a soda. Like I'd do 2 or 3 a day.
If you
Back
tell
in the
me
day.
it's Mountain Dew, I'm gonna judge you.
No, I used to drink Dr Pepper. I love Coke.
There you go,
Um,
Dr. Pepper.
Dude,
yeah,
that's Savannah's. Savannah, my girlfriend is obsessed with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
I
It's
love
weird.
Dr Pepper.
I don't understand
But
why y'all love it so much.
man, good stuff, man. Good
I don't
stuff.
know. Yeah, it is just.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just I drank sodas. That was literally that was my weakest point. And that's all my friends. That and candy. So these loaded teas just
Dude,
have helped.
candy, sour candy especially. That's my thing right
Yeah,
there.
I'm just addicted to any type of candy.
Yeah,
So,
the girls I work with love Burn, man. Like that's their go-to. Like every day at lunchtime, like as soon as they break, they're like everybody know where they're going, and like everybody putting in their orders to go to Burn or whatever, man.
that's
They
hilarious.
love
That's
it.
See that we're already giving you business.
I know exactly. That's funny.
So what's it like? What's your personal life like during all this? Because you're having to, balance school, owning a business, and trying to really, I'm assuming expand it, but we'll get into that. So what's
Yeah.
it like in your personal life? Has that just kind of gone under the rug for now? Because most people, when they start a business, they have a personal life, they have a work life, and they're not having to worry about that in between school.
Yeah. So I like to say that I've done a good job. I didn't do a good job during COVID.
I don't think anybody had a personal life during COVID.
Yeah,
Though.
exactly. So, but now it's just interesting. People always make fun of me because I'm on my phone a lot. Just people calling me and me trying to figure out different stuff, and that's just part of it. I think it just goes back to like how you spend your time. I still am able to hang out with my friends all the time. I have a girlfriend now, so I have plenty of time to spend with her, and I have plenty of time to work on Burn. And I still have plenty of time to do school. And I say that just to say that, I think it all goes back to kind of what your interests are and how
Right.
you spend your time. And so, it's worked out fine for me. I guess it's kind of weird because like I don't really have anything bad to say because yes, there's been times where I've had to give up, going to do something because I have to work. Like coming up, Black Friday, like I'll have to leave my home, at probably 7:30 in the morning to get here by 11 to open up Friday because we're giving the girls and the other people that are working off, and we're gonna work Saturday at the Iron Bowl too, me and the other owner and the manager. So that's little things like that, and it's I can't just drop of the hat and go do something, all the time or like a big trip.
Yeah.
But I look at it as, going back to what we talked about earlier, I look at it as like right now I'm doing that and I'm working hard, and one day I'll be able to, maybe own a business where I don't have to be present every day or I don't have to, constantly do stuff.
Right.
But, I'm just enjoying it now. And like, I find plenty of time to do everything. So I don't know if that was a good answer.
No,
but,
dude, that's great because like I was the same way when I was in school. Like I've always been obsessed about making money or working to try to get something better. Like
Mhm.
I used to still go out and party and have fun with friends, but like if it was like on the line, like I would always choose like working or like grinding to get up higher or
Yeah.
get more money because that's just what I've always loved is like
For sure.
being like financially stable or
Yeah.
just like having like that because it's to me it's kind of like a thrill.
No.
Like I love to like go and try to make something happen like out of nothing. Like I used to go flip tickets in high school for Auburn game, even when we sucked. And me and my friend did it, and we used to go get like scholarship seats from just flipping like $5 or $20,
Yeah.
whatever it was back when we were terrible.
No, yeah, for sure. And like I don't know. I look at kind of like there's that whole podcast I was talking about earlier with Jeff Bezos. He talked about like, there's Steve Harvey that talks about how, rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. I'm sure y'all have heard that one.
Yeah.
And then there's Jeff Bezos who talks about, he says, I have to sleep 8 hours a day. And he goes, I've learned that when I sleep 8 hours a day, I'm getting up and I'm making 3 to 4 to 5 critical decisions. And if I get 8 hours of sleep, I can make those 3 to 4 to 5 decisions really well. And, I'm a person, I'll have to get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I think about everything. I think about every outcome. I look to the future. I think about what's coming next, what's going to happen. And so I think that does make me a little tired. So yeah, I don't go out all the time, or I don't stay up super late. You can ask my friends, they'll tell you. But that's kind of something. I guess that's kind of the one area I guess that I've seen that maybe has been a little bit different as I go to bed, at 10:30, every night. So,
Yeah.
but I mean,
See, I think it kind of depends on like who you are, because like me personally, I like going to bed early, but I used to not. But like I'll wake up early and I'll get stuff done. I've seen Omari go to like the gym at like 1 a.m. because he's a night owl. He might sleep a little bit longer, but it's all the same time period as long as you're putting in certain work. Right.
Yeah, that's big, man. Cause like cause when you're doing so much stuff, like people are wondering like when do you have time to sleep, and it's like. As you said, like you just have to fit it in there, and everything just meshed together, because when you're working so hard, you're gonna be tired.
Right.
So you're gonna make sure you find time to sleep if you're actually doing something.
Your body needs it,
right? And that shows how productive you're being at the same time. Because a lot of people can put anybody can put on the front like they're doing a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So like that's my time is the nighttime, early mornings.
Yeah, and I think that's like if you carve out like certain times for yourself. That's what it is. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go to bed at 8 o'clock, be up at 4, and like have all that. Because like I'm not productive if I wake up before 6 o'clock.
Right.
Like I'll just chill or sit on my phone or do something. But if I'm up at like 6:30, 6:45, like I start my day, especially if I've gotten like the right amount of sleep, because that's just how I am. Like I've understood my sleep schedule and like my personal, like how I do everything.
Right.
Like that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I think another thing too, like for me, like, it'd be weird during like quarantine when we'd be working. Sometimes I'd come home at 5 and I'd pass out, take a nap, and 2 or 3 hour nap. I'd wake up, feel good, and I'd be able to go back to sleep at 10. So like now I've kind of gotten the habit now, like every few days and during the week, if it's been like a stressful day or whatever, like I'm able to come home, take an hour and 30-minute nap, and I feel like refreshed. But
So are you a nap kind of person?
I love a nap. I think that I don't know. I think it's good for you, and it just kind of.
I haven't been able to achieve like a good nap since I was like a kid. Like I used to love nap time. Like I got a trophy when I was in kindergarten for best napper. But like after that, like it was just downhill. Like if I take a nap, like I'm done for the night.
That's why I tell Taylor and Blake, I don't sleep. I take a lot of naps, and that's
do you do those like 20-minute interval naps? You know what
I can't do that, but like
you know what I'm talking about though. It's like you sleep 20 minutes or something.
I can't do that, but like I don't remember last time I got a straight 8 hours, 7 hour, 8 hours of sleep. Like, yeah, it's like always naps. Like that's just how I operate.
What are you guys doing? Naps or no naps? Let us know, man. But yeah, hey, if naps work for you, naps work for you. Yeah. I'm just personally not a nap guy. But if that works, that you're like, because I can't go back to sleep like you're saying. Like I'm up, I'm up until like 4 or 5 in the morning after that, and then my whole thing's screwed.
Yeah.
Man. So one big thing I'm sure for you guys is growing on social media, especially in today's age, especially with the pandemic now. What does that look like when you're trying to advertise a drink or like teas, smoothies? Like what does that look like on y'all's side?
Yeah. So I'll say this as a work in progress. It's interesting. I guess you when you promote different products, you learn that some things you do that nobody likes, and then something you do will boom out of nowhere and do really well.
Right.
So right now, kind of social media looks like I have 2 girls that are our, interns that we pay, and they run our social media. I let them kind of do what they want to do, as far as their PR majors. So, they kind of do different things, but like I'll come up with different ideas. So like I'll give you this. TikTok's been good for us, in the sense that we had a drink called Watermelon Sugar High. We created a video of it, and we had the song playing in the background. It said it on the cup, and we posted it on our Instagram and Facebook. And that week, which was probably during September or August, right when school started, that was our highest sales week.
No pun intended.
That we ever had in 8 months. And it was pretty crazy because, we were doing really, really well during mid-quarantine. I say really, really well. We were doing well enough that we were able to stay open and not in the red. But yeah, we saw the that loaded T video. I mean, I know we sold 100 the first day. I think it declined day by day, but I mean, that first week, I think we sold 500 of that one drink, and people loved it. And so that worked for us. Another thing like with TikTok, I think it brought a lot of people. We did on our actual TikTok, we did the Iron Bowl of the 1 second voice, and we kind of did an orange and blue tea, and that kind of blew up and got like I think 10 or 15,000 views and a few thousand likes. So that was good, and I think some people came and tried that. But I'll say this, like it's a hit and miss. You're never gonna get it right because you don't know how the audience is gonna react, and you can do your best. But I mean, I will say the one thing I've learned is kind of, sharing people. People like to see people,
Right.
and I think that's what's been our biggest success is just sharing different people, sharing our employees or spotlighting employees or spotlighting customers, excuse me, has been successful. But yeah, I mean, it's just all about trying to come up with innovative ways to really just keep attracting the customer and wanting them to come back. And I'll give this example, like during quarantine, our sales were really low the first week of like COVID. And so me and my manager sat down, we're just trying to come up with ways with ideas to get people out there to try it. And, we have so many different flavors, which you can be looked at as a flaw or a good thing. And I think that it's both. I think for us, having that many flavors has, given us a competitive advantage as people want to try more and more things. But I also think it's hard for inventory. You got to have a lot of stock, so it's a double-edged sword. But we tried loaded tea of the day. And so every day for we went through our entire menu, we had a loaded tea of the day. And I mean, we had a lot of customers that would come back every single day just to try a new tea until they found the one they like, or they would continue trying it. And we had one new every day. And, we would do if you get the loaded tea, we'll keep track of your name, and, you would get a free combo at the end of the week if we drew you or whatnot. But, so that really worked. But it's all about just finding what works. And I think it's different for everybody. And, and I think another big thing is, benefit days are good for us. When we do pop-up shops or when we, work with other different businesses for a giveaway, different things like that, just to get people excited.
Do y'all try to collaborate any, or are you just trying to go and set up at other businesses to kind of draw in foot traffic?
Yeah. So it's been, I don't have a specific, it's been just different things. We did something with our next door neighbor, the boutique thing. And we do different giveaways. We'll have a pop-up shop every now and then with a small local business will come in or something and, share whatever they're doing. And that's just fun for people to, get to meet those people, see a different business, different local business. And I think it helps us out a lot. We did 320 Mag last week, was a huge success. Just they opened up a tab from 1 to 3, and it really helped us out, and it helped them out, I believe. So there was a line out the door of college students. You show your Tiger ID. So I'm learning that different collaborations like that, it's just good because it's all about getting people excited, and that kind of drives people to the door. If they don't if they haven't had the product yet, or if they're not completely sold on it, try and get them more, get them there is kind of how you can do it.
Right. We need to work on a young and hungry drink. Be a green, white slush one.
Something like that.
Promote on my TikTok.
Dude,
I'm at 30K.
You're at 30,000?
Yeah.
What's your average views?
It's crazy because analytics are terrible. So my biggest videos with Taylor and Blake is at 1.7 million. Yeah. But
my biggest one is 18.6 thousand.
Oh. No, but it's different, man. Some of them are
hey guys, we're gonna have a different co-host next week. You guys just stay tuned for that one.
Some of them get 700, and some of them. But I would say my average has definitely went up. It's in the 10 to 20,000. Right?
You see that? We'll get you advertised. We just got to do a young and hungry drink combination.
Exactly.
We're gonna talk about that one after.
All right, I got some. So I'm gonna talk about support system. Of course, your mom supports you, and it's outside of family, like, how would you say? I want to ask this:
Mhm.
if to any other business owner, for it's different for everybody, but for you personally, what would you say? Like, how were you helped by like friends and family in terms of like feeling support? Because some people like they get around their friends and that's the last thing we want to talk about. They don't want to talk about anything business. How like
Yeah.
for you personally, how did like people help you?
Yeah. So I'll say, so one of my best friends, he was there the morning of opening day,
Mm-hmm.
which meant a lot to me. And then that night, I had probably 40 or 50 guys from my fraternity show up, and all
Wow.
get something. They all came in that first night. As far as like other things, it's just been great. I think people, love the idea of a college student kind of, you know, running a business.
Oh yeah.
It's great to get recognition, but I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. It's just it doesn't do anything at the end of the day. I mean, and I say that I meaning like it doesn't fulfill me any more than if my business was not successful or if it was. So but it's been good like having I had an article wrote about me from the Harvard College of Business, and then Auburn University wrote an article about me, and I think there's another article coming out in the next month for the alumni magazine. It's just been great because I think everybody's supportive of just a younger person kind of starting out early.
Right.
And the one thing I think when I look back, like if I said, okay, well, what if I didn't do this, or what what if I would have chose a different route or whatnot. I've met so many people, and those people have become my good friends just through Burn that I would have never met. And I'm not talking about like college students. I'm talking about kind of older people.
Right.
And those people have become, my good friends, and that I talk to and I go eat lunch with, and and they've become mentors, and I would have never met them through that. And it's really given me a good opportunity to meet more business owners, and they're all supportive of me. So it's just opened up a huge, opportunity and a huge door. And so everybody's really been very supportive, and and that's all you can ask for. I couldn't say one bad thing about anybody because everybody's been so supportive. And I think it goes back to I was looking on LinkedIn a few days ago, and I actually shared it on my page, but it just talked about how like if your friend owns a car dealership, even if you lose money, go buy that car from them. Or if a person is a banker, you might lose money or you don't like that bank, go bank with them. There's just little things like that, because I mean that that just means the world. And you might lose a little money up front, but you're supporting one of your good friends. And I think when you have that attitude, and a lot of people had that attitude with me, it just means a lot. So
Yeah.
it kind of helps me, and that's kind of that attitude how I have too towards other people. So
Gotcha.
I think it's important to have that good like circle around you, because even if they don't like buy something from you, them sharing something on their Instagram, or them just like talking about you and like positive, like when they can, like, hey, let me insert this. That's different. Like even if like they don't go and buy it, like they're still helping promote you, which is completely free to them.
Exactly.
Like that's how when you have that good circle of people around you.
And that's the thing too, is like I think with any business or with any product that you sell, not everybody's gonna like it,
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to like people don't buy, what you do, they buy why you do it, and that's that famous TED talk. But like people are buying the idea of me and of Susan, who's the other owner, who's local to Auburn, who's well connected and everybody loves her, and and our manager who's well connected too, and people love coming in every single day, and that's their time of like community with us, and everybody knows our employees' names, and our employees do such a good job of remembering their names, and that goes so far. And yes, they love our products, but I think that's kind of why people continue to come back, because I mean we built that great, when you walk in that door, I mean you have 1 to 2 minutes to really focus on that individual customer and give them the best experience possible. And so when you do that, it makes, when you focus on that and you succeed at it, it makes it 10 times easier to for them to go and tell somebody about it, or really talk highly of that person, or talk highly of our business, or me, or Susan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because you're selling yourself and your business. Because if you go back and look at it, like you said, your only competition really is the other stores that are around, and you guys have, I'm assuming, like similar products. but they might come to you just because they had the better experience, or it's a friend that told them about you, and it's all about selling who you are and like what your business is, not just the product.
Correct.
Because if they're wanting to buy something, right now I think there's like 4 others like it or something like that. Well, I've really only heard about you and what is it, Moore's Mill Nutrition, just because like that's where we used to live.
Mhm.
But like Burn has been the more organic one that I've heard and seen like on Instagram or all that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So do you plan on growing Burn, or do you think that in the future you want to have something more like
Yeah.
bigger or something, or what?
Yeah, so I don't want to say it over the thing just in case anybody's listening. There's definitely, and I say that not, I think that
We'll bleep it out if you drop it on accident.
yeah, but we have definitely some good ideas, and I have some good connections that hopefully in the next year it'll be a huge opportunity. It's a sector of Burn, and so that's kind of where I'm going to. I don't plan to, run Burn out of college. I am an entrepreneur, but I do want to go and work a few years in the corporate world, and just kind of see how that is. And I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know, what I'm going to necessarily do out of college, but I definitely have some different things working up, and so I'm excited for that. And so yes, there are some hopefully expansions coming soon.
Nice. My biggest advice to you is that if you get a 5-year plan, right? What you plan to do after college, it'll be the complete different thing. Like no matter how much you try, you're gonna be like, oh man, I want to do this instead. Like you're saying like, oh, I want to go work in the corporate world. Well, you might all of a sudden like skyrocket in it, and now you're like, I don't want to go run that. Like I'll have like other little side projects, or maybe you'll hate it, and that's all you'll do, right? And change it. So that's my biggest thing is like don't just rely on a 5-year plan. Like you just got to be able to pivot.
Yeah. And I'll talk about that too. I think the ability to adapt and in the circumstances of just COVID as a small business is just huge. I mean, if you take a look at retail, I mean, the ones that are successful and the ones that are continuing to thrive. I look at like Elizabeth Boutique, who, her name's Beth Gamble Register. She's, someone I've met through Burn, and we've become good friends. But her business is downtown Auburn, but she, also sells online, and she does these Facebook Live videos with, thousands of viewers that, buy stuff. And, that ability to adapt and see where the market's going and try to position yourself that you're going to succeed in that market to come it's just huge. And like, I'll, refer back to the Jeff Bezos podcast, but he talked about like during present day, if someone comes in and says, oh, we had, y'all had a nice quarter this quarter. And he's like, yeah, that's great. But, that presently was in the past because, 2 or 3 years ago was when he was working on this present quarter. And today he's working 2 or 3 years in advance so that quarter then will be successful. And I think that's kind of the ability to adapt, like you talked about, and, kind of head on a swivel and being able to move is I think what I've found for me and my journey so far has been the most successful thing is just being able to adapt and kind of figure out where the market's going to go. And it looks differently everywhere in every different industry.
I think Amazon's probably the best example of that because they started off as, during like the internet bubble as a bookstore. And now, Jeff Bezos, I'm sure somewhere he has one of those Uncle Scrooge chambers with like gold coins that he goes swimming in. That's what I assume he does in his free time. But yeah, like they've adapted and they've gone into that, and I think that's so important. Like back then, now like everything's always continuously evolving and changing, and if you stop, you get stuck.
Yeah, and you look at like, I'm glad you brought that. You look at like Books A Million, and you look at Barnes and Nobles, and not to say that they are not a good company and anything like that, but they didn't see that change in internet as quickly as Jeff did,
and then they got stuck. Because they didn't want. It's kind of like what TJ Maxx is doing right now. Like I was listening to a podcast earlier, and it was Snacks Daily, and they were talking about how TJ Maxx, their website is not that good, like at all. Like they wanted to stay a physical store because they're a treasure hunting store basically. And then if you go look at their sister store, like Home Goods or whatever it is, they just have a website that redirects you and tells you where the nearest one is. Like they don't have anything online. Yeah. And so now they said they should have one up for Home Goods after saying they wouldn't in like 6 months. Yeah. Which is crazy to think like, oh, okay, we're in a pandemic and you had to shut stores down, but now you'll have a website in 6 months when God knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think, I listened to, I don't know if you know Xander Huff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was in my fraternity. We're good friends. He started a podcast too, and he posted one a few weeks ago about, they're called dark stores, but essentially like Bed Bath & Beyond. They're basically closing their doors, and instead of, allowing people to come in, they're strictly doing the online business. Right. And they're becoming dark stores, and they're, closing down their doors, and it's just a fulfillment center.
What's his podcast name that he talks about that on?
Yeah, it's called Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, okay.
Yeah, he's doing really well. A lot of people like it, and so it's just interesting. But yeah, y'all might can have him on here.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that'd be a really good one to get on here.
Putting it in my notes now.
He's done a few different startups. He had a technology company for some church software. Okay. I don't think it worked out, but he definitely learned a lot from starting up a company and different things like that. So,
right.
But yeah, the dark store is that's where the market's going. I mean, I think it's about in the near future, 5 years, and he talks about it's like being able to order Lululemon in Auburn and have it in one day. And how do you do that? Is Lululemon sees a need for a fulfillment center because it's in a college town and girls and guys are constantly ordering it. That's where I think the market's going, is getting that, that product to the customer as quickly as possible. And, Bed Bath & Beyond be able to send that order and you have it in one day, just as if you were going to go into the store, but you never have to leave your house. And, I think that's, where we're, going to see the market going.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, especially if everything ends up shutting down again. Like I feel like that's what it has to be. Because if you can't go anywhere, especially if it's stricter this time, like they're going to have to do something to get their product out, because nobody's just going to just sit there like, okay, we'll wait 6 months and just hope we're still here. Like, no, like they're going to do something to get to you still.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You got anything?
I had something. I was just going to let you know. We can work together too, because I don't know if you know, but I'm behind the camera as well, so I do like film production videos. Like I was just finished up editing one before I got here, but
that's why he was late.
Yeah, that's why I was late. So I love to do some promo footage or whatever for you. Yeah, man.
Promo with the Young and Hungry drink.
Ooh.
On the TikTok.
Burn X Young and Hungry.
Dude, that's what it is. I want to get a T-shirt made now.
Yeah, man. Awesome. But we'll definitely have to get some work in together, man.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome.
Definitely. So that's all like the regular questions we have. So now we're going to jump to what we call the money round.
Okay.
And it's 3 questions, usually the same, usually not the same. Here, you want to shoot the money gun?
I'm good, man.
You don't want to shoot the money gun?
You got it, bro.
It's the money round. Hang on, it's not done yet. Now it's done. I'm going to have to clean all that up.
Yeah, because I ain't doing it.
So the money round is like 3 questions, and let's get into it. Number 1 is, what do you consider success, like to you personally?
It's interesting. I don't know. I think over the years it's definitely evolved. I think success really, it used to be for me money, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think money's a horrible thing to go
money
after.
Is power.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I think success really revolves around is kind of finding something that you're passionate about and doing it.
Yeah. And
loving what you're doing. And then if you can make money while doing it, it's just 10 times better. So I think that kind of, to me, is what success is. It's just really finding something that you're passionate about and, going after that and doing that. And, to add on cherry on top is to make money from your passions and love what you're doing and, just inspire people. And I don't know, just all around the board of just, that whole supporting everybody, everything. And, if you can do that while doing your passion, I think that to me is what success is.
Sweet. So let's talk about the next one is somebody who, we'll say in college, right, wants to be an entrepreneur, right? We're not going to say it's specifically a tea smoothie, but just an entrepreneur in general. What advice would you give them to start?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I've heard over and over again that whole saying is you don't need money to start a business. I think it's true and it's not true. I think it depends on what type of business is, but I also know that like if you work your butt off, there's people willing to give you money to do something. I don't know. I hear all the time that you can't do something because you don't have money, and I got really lucky. I'll say that. I was able to, have the opportunity that, you know, enough money was given to me to be able to do something, and it turns out successful. But the biggest thing is, I don't know if you have an idea, you might have to pitch to 100,000 people, or you might have to pitch to one person. But there are people that will put money into you, and I would just say never let money or the unknown or not being able to fully have somebody get behind it to stop you,
Right.
because at the end of the day, like most likely in the world we live, people are not going to get behind your idea,
Right.
and that's just sad, and people are going to root against you, and I mean that's just, I hate that that's the world that we live in, and so I mean you've got to be willing to hear no, and what you're gonna hear it over and over again. You got to be willing to fail. And I know it's how cliche it is to say that you learn from your failures, but I mean, you know
I think you learn more from failure than you do success.
exactly. And I would say, if you can learn from your failures but also learn from how other people fail, you'll put yourself at a way better position to
Right.
succeed. um and and you're not looking down upon those people that have failed, but you're learning from why they failed, and
Yeah.
you're making sure that you don't make that mistake.
Right.
But to kind of sum all that up, yeah, I just would say that, like, I don't know, it doesn't bother me when people say that, and that they don't have enough money or something like that, because at the end of the day, like, I did get really, I say really lucky. I mean, I worked 10 years at showing my work ethic, and um, being responsible in front of this person so that he would trust me with enough money to do that.
Yeah.
But I would just say that don't let that stop you. I mean, just go pitch to as many people. Be careful about it, obviously, pitching your idea, but there are people that are willing to invest in you, and the only person you need to really convince is yourself that you can do it. And if you're having to try to convince yourself, then you're probably not gonna succeed. Yeah. But if you have enough faith in yourself to go do it, and you believe that you truly can do it, I mean, I don't think there's anything that can stop you.
Yeah.
So
I've always told people, like, I think everybody in the world has some type of advantage over everybody else. Some might be that they have money that they can use. Some have somebody else they know, or it's just, maybe it's luck, but it's still opportunity, because what's the saying? Like, opportunity is when luck meets preparedness, something like that. But like, everybody has an advantage. It just depends on how you use it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. Like, people, I hear all the time that, like, oh, this person, he came from a lot of money. Like, oh, everybody looks bad on Donald Trump for starting his business off with $1 million loan. Like you said, everybody's dealt a different card.
Yeah.
And if you're dealt that card of $1 million, turn it into 100 million.
Yeah. Like, I completely agree. Like, that's, if you actually look at like what he's done, like, I'm not supporting him or like promoting that at all right now, but I'm just saying, like, the financial aspects, like him, Jeff Bezos, and like all these other people who, like, they've just used what they had to like make it more.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like mine is like, I had money saved up from when I did work like maintenance, so I kind of like started turning that, and I turned that into like my first rental property.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of goes from there.
Yeah. And that's, I think that too, I hate hearing it all the time when people, they're like, oh, they come from a, wealthy family, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you come from that and you're lucky enough and those are the cards, I mean, take those cards and turn it into something huge.
Yeah.
And if you're not from that, don't sit around and, wish that you had, the opportunity they had, or that you wish you had more money, or go make that. And like, I know that sounds cliche, but like, it's so true, because I mean, anybody could sit around and make excuses for why they're not where they want to be, or why, they're not doing what they're doing. But I mean, it just, I mean, it's all about whether you want it or not. And,
Yeah, and it's about perspective too, because just as you just said, like with everyone has an advantage. Even someone with nothing has an advantage. They have a story to tell. They have more of a reasoning to, get to a certain spot. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to necessarily be monetary,
right?
To have an advantage.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll share this. Like, this lady I literally just met yesterday. She sells candles, and I can't remember the name of the candle off the top of my head, or I would shout her out. But she, she was a single mom 2 years ago, and she lost her job, and she was like, I gotta find a job. I gotta do something to make money. And she started selling candles, and her business has now, killed it. And I reached out to her after seeing it and hearing the story, and I said, hey, I want to, have your candle spotlighted in our store.
Oh, if you don't have a candle called Burning the Candle, like not a candle, but like a drink called Burning the Candle, you can't tell me that wouldn't be great. That's free for you right there. The next one costs you.
That was good. But yeah, it's just like little things like that. Like, I mean, you can feel sorry for yourself. And I'm not saying that everybody comes in different positions, and I don't ever want to say that, but, she's a great example. And like, I look up to that so much, as, she, was single mom, and I don't know her story completely, but, I know now that she lost her job, and now she's, started making candles of all things. And, she's killing it. Now she's building a new house with a designated candle room. And, I just think it's a great story. And she's, selling her candles in different shops in Alabama. She has her online business. And so, I don't know. It's just, you work hard, and I think that, over time it will pay off.
You ever seen The Office?
Say that again?
Have you ever watched The Office?
I love The Office.
When you just said candle room, I'm imagining you're not gonna understand because you don't watch The Office.
Nah, man, I'm sorry. I know.
What's your Netflix pleasure?
I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch anything, bro. I know.
Anyway, so on The Office, there's this episode where they go to their boss's house or his condo, and his girlfriend makes candles, and so she has an office for like that's just like an actual like office like that, but there's nothing in it. And then she has another room that's a candle room that's just filled with candles she's making. You know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, I remember.
So when you say that, that's what I imagine when you say candle room. It's like this like huge room full of like melting candles everywhere.
That'd be dope. I love candles.
Imagine the smell though.
Oh, like
every,
if they're
they're all like crossing and like you're having to like mix them.
Yeah, she has one. It's like blueberry cheesecake, and it smells so good. Like it's crazy.
Makes you want to eat the candle. All right, so we got one more, and then we'll let you get off here. So what really keeps you grinding? Like you wake up and you're like, I gotta go get it today. Like what is that that for you?
I think it's, for my future family, and for my brothers and my parents. I have a lot of goals that revolve around them and helping them one day. And not that they're asking for it, but I don't know, when you're the oldest, you have that sense of like, you want to lead, and I think I didn't set the best example as a sibling, I guess you'd say, in high school. So kind of transforming into college, I've definitely matured a lot. And I think one of the big things that drives me is them. And I'm my brother's a freshman now at Auburn, and we have a great relationship, and I'm excited that, when this opportunity does come, like I'm going to bring him along, and, I want to do business with him one day. And it's just, I don't know. I think that's the biggest thing that drives me, is just, being there for them, and really, being a role model, and not doing the normal things, and showing that you can do what you want to do. And then I go into like my family one day, if I could, not that, money is not, money's one of those things that you have $1 million and you're going to want 100 million. You have 100 million, you want $1 billion. It's never ending.
More money, more problems.
Exactly. So it's not about money, but it's about the financial freedom and being able to spend time with my family and do things that, I want to do. And if I can work hard now and put myself at a better position,
Yeah.
to spend time with them and you know, be able to do things that, I want to do one day, I'm willing to take that risk, and I'm willing to get up and, put myself in stressful situations and put myself in different things that, most normal people probably wouldn't do. And, but, that's kind of what drives me, I believe, just
Awesome.
different.
Awesome.
So.
You got anything else?
That's it, man. I'm good.
Awesome. Brock, thank you so much for coming on today. Let everybody know where they can find you and where they can find Burn.
Yeah. So, Burn Nutrition is located, I guess, if you know the same strip mall as Orange Theory and Chicken Salad Chick off Opelika Road. We'd love to have y'all come in and try different things. We have a lot of flavors, probably over 100 different things. So I'm sure we have something that you like. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm always open to chatting. My email is on my LinkedIn page. So you just look up Brock Murphy, and so is my phone number. So yeah, I'm always available and open to talk.
What about y'all's Instagrams?
Oh yeah. So Burn Nutrition Auburn is our Instagram. If you look us up, just type in Burn Nutrition, it'll pop up, as well as the Facebook. TikTok's the same thing. And we post every day, so you can always see updates of us and, store hours and different things like that. So definitely come check us out.
Awesome. Well, guys, that's all we got today. I'm Gleason.
I'm Omari.
And y'all be on the lookout for that Young and Hungry combo that we're going to be doing with Burn soon, all right? Be on the lookout for that one. All right, guys. Stay hungry. What's up, everybody? Whether you're watching our beautiful faces on YouTube
Or listening on Spotify,
make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, like the podcast, because it really helps us in the algorithms and making sure that people see us.
yeah, just share it, because we got some great content coming your way with great guests, so you don't want to miss it.
And guys, we're just trying to build this up. Like, come on, help us, help you, help others. That's what it's all about, right? I know. Yeah.
I like that.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.